Lights, camera, action!
Hi, my name's Alyssa.
Hi, my name's Amanda.
Today we are going to be talking about the case that April was involved in. She broke professional performance when she didn't respect the dignity and worth of the client. I will now discuss the code of ethics that she broke. Value 1, respect for the inherent dignity and worth of persons. April did not respect the unique worth and inherent dignity of all people and uphold human rights. She did not uphold each person's right to self-determination consistent with that person's capacity and with the rights of others. She did not respect the diversity among individuals in Canadian society and the right of individuals to their unique beliefs consistent with the rights of others. She also did not respect the client's right to make choices based on voluntary, informed consent. April also broke value 4, integrity in professional practice. She did not demonstrate and promote the qualities of honesty, reliability, impartiality, and diligence in their professional performance. She did not adhere to the values and ethical principles of the profession and promote respect for the profession's values and principles in organizations where they work or with which they have a professional affiliation. She did not establish appropriate boundaries in relationships with clients and ensure that relationship serves the needs of clients. Lastly, she did not value openness and transparency in professional practice and avoid relationships where her integrity and impartiality may be compromised, ensuring that should a conflict of interest be unavoidable, the nature of the conflict is fully disclosed. Lastly, she broke value 6, competence in professional practice. She did not uphold the right of clients to be offered the highest quality service possible. She did not strive to maintain and increase her professional knowledge and skill, and she did not demonstrate due care for the client's interests and safety by limiting professional practice to areas of demonstrated competence. Secondly, she breached a number of standards of practice. First, she breached E2, cultural competence. Section A, a social worker will acknowledge and respect the impact that their own heritage, values, beliefs, and preferences can have on their practice and on clients whose background and values may be different from their own. Second, value F1, professional relationships and the dignity of clients. Section A, a social worker will not impose any stereotypes on a client based on behavior, values, or roles related to race, ethnicity, religion, etc. that would interfere with the provision of professional services to that client. Also, Section B, a social worker will use reasonable advocacy and other intervention activities to ensure that the dignity, individuality, and rights of their clients are safeguarded. And Section C, a social worker will respect client motivation, capacity, and opportunity for change at all times during the professional relationship and use this knowledge appropriately to facilitate the attainment of intended outcomes. She also breached Section F4, impaired ability to perform. Section A, a social worker will maintain a reasonable level of awareness necessary to appropriately manage personal needs, feelings, values, and limitations in the context of a professional relationship. And lastly, G1, professional accountability within the profession. Section B, a social worker will not act in a manner that may reduce the public trust in social work and social workers. Lastly, she breached one guideline in Section 7, ethical responsibilities to the profession. 7.1, maintain and enhance reputation of profession. Section 7.1.8, social workers distinguish between actions and statements made as private citizens and actions and statements made as social workers, recognizing that social workers are obligated to ensure that no outside interest brings the profession into disrepute.
Wow, thanks Alyssa.
You're welcome.
Next we're going to be talking about the guidelines of the management of consent and confidentiality when working with minors, according to the ACSW. The ACSW Standards of Practice define a client as an adult or a minor age of 14 or over who has the requisite understanding to appreciate the nature and consequences of the professional services being provided. In Canada, the mature minor doctrine addresses the ability of a minor to consent to medical treatment. Mature minor doctrine can also be applied in the same manner to consent for social work services. Upon revising the Resilient Practitioner, we also found some relevancy on pages 64 to 73. The difficulty of the work relates to our hope to make a difference, with our inability to tolerate so much ambiguity, with the distress we vicariously feel from those we attempt to assist. Scoville listed 10 hazards of practice, but we found the hazard of those we try to help may have motivational conflicts, which refers to being sent by others, such as parents or the court system. Upon revising the ethical decisions on page 24, we found social work practitioners take their basic professional values from societal values. That is, from values are most often compatible with society's values, but there may be important differences in emphasis, priorities, or interpretations. And according to Banks, workers have the power and responsibility to make difficult decisions. These decisions have serious repercussions from the people involved and have potential to ruin people's lives, which emphasizes the large responsibilities for the workers.
That's very informative.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kristen.
Hi, I'm Kelsey.
For this case, we chose the Reamer model.
Why?
First, let me explain its processes. Reamer model is a decision-making model adopted by Frederick Reamer, hence its name. Its steps include
1. Identify the ethical issues, including the social work values and duties in conflict. Next, identify the individuals, groups, and organizations likely to be affected by the ethical decision. Then, you'll brainstorm all the choices and the participants involved in each, and the potential benefits and risks for each. After, you'll thoroughly examine the reasons in favor and against each course of action, considering relevant. So this includes code of ethics and standards, ethical theories, social work practice theories, and personal values. Next, you'll consult with colleagues and appropriate experts, which are agency staff, supervisors, agency administrators, layers, ethical specialists, and lastly, you'll make a decision, monitor and evaluate outcome and document.
Thanks, Kelsey. Well, we chose the Reamer model for its benefits. It's very clear and straightforward and concise. It's a very organized model, and our team had a good understanding of it. It applies to this case because initially we were not sure if the situation involved child abuse or not, so we had to examine the case from both angles. It takes into consideration every person that's affected. It takes into account many outlooks and ethics that were just mentioned by Kelsey, such as the Code of Ethics and Standards, theories, social work theories, and personal values. But some of the challenges of this model were it is very time-consuming to go through each potential dilemma. It takes a lot of critical thinking because of its many steps, and it's an absolutist model. But when it came to discussing April's professional conduct, we needed to look at it more subjectively.
Hi, I'm Drew. And I'm Charisse. In determining what constitutes an ethical dilemma, it is necessary to make a distinction between ethics, morals, values, laws, and policies. Ethics are prepositional statements that are used by members of a profession or group to determine what the right course of action of a situation is. Courses of action we decided for April were professional performance and accountability. She needs to have more training on competency and a supervised probationary period for 6 months. The benefits of this could be that she'll learn appropriate behavior while dealing with clients who may have different views than her, self-reflection for herself, and accountability. Risks are her reputation could be harmed, she may be suspended from her job, or she may lose her job.
And to summarize what we have learned about the Code of Ethics, particularly Value 1, which is the respect for the inherent dignity of persons. Value 2 is the pursuit of social justice. Value 3 is the service to humanity. And Value 4 is integrity and professional practice. And for the standards of practice, we have learned section E2A, cultural competence, Section F, which includes the professional relationships, which is Section F1A, F1B, and F1C, which is the dignity of clients. F4A is the impaired ability to perform. And Section G1B is the professional accountability within the person. And for the guidelines of ethical practice, Sections 1.0 is about the ethical responsibilities to clients, particularly Section 1.2.2 and 1.2.3 demonstrates cultural awareness and sensitivity. And Section 7.0 is about the ethical responsibilities to the profession, and Section 7.1.8 is to maintain and enhance reputation of the profession. A social worker must be professionally competent to be able to identify the ethical issues. It is very important that helpers are able to identify and to take into consideration the stakeholders who are going to be affected by the ethical decision. And the helpers must make ethical decisions and adhere with the codes of ethics, standards of practice and guidelines to ethical practice, social work practice theories, and personal values. To always consult with your supervisor or ethical committee within your agency. In ethical decision making, it is important that we monitor and evaluate the outcome and to always make proper documentation. And that is our conclusion.
Social work.
Good enough.